Alright, welcome to another solo leveling Arise video. And for this showcase, we're gonna go over OG Baek, who is a breaker. That's pretty much it. That's his role. All he does is break. He's the best breaker in the game. Simple as that. So for his stats, I have him like this. Focus on his defense because that's what he scales with. His crit rate is high. Why is his crit rate so high? I don't know why, but that's okay. His crit damage is low though, so it's kind of funny. Defense penetration is low, but whatever. So for his weapon, I'm using his exclusive weapon. To be honest, it don't matter what you use. You can use this weapon. You get this one for free. All his weapon does is give him a increase of light damage for 4%, and then he also buffs his defense by 5%. Which doesn't really matter as a breaker because you're just gonna break and then dip, get out of there. You can use any other defense weapon. This is gonna be fine. Shield is gonna be okay. It don't really matter. For artifacts wise, you can only really use one on the left side. It's just the break set. At the moment at least, pre-buff. When he gets buff, let's see. What is his buff do? When he gets buff, he gets an overall damage increase as well as his QTE, making it easier to hit. That's actually interesting. So his buff turns him into a DPS, which makes sense why this does crit rate, because when we go over his passive. But pre-buff, the only thing you want to use on him is the break set, because all he does is break. Next patch, toughness set might be good on him, depending on how much increased damage he gets. But as of right now, it's break. All you just get break. Focus on defense and maybe defense pen and damage increase. For the right side, this can be anything. Executioner if you want to do more damage, concentration of power if you want to reduce your cooldown of your skills, which is nice if you can't break in 2 hits. This is very good. And then if you want to support, outstanding connection is also very good. So on the right side he has a lot of options. On the left side, not so much. At least right now. And then for his skills, he scales off defense, so make sure everything is defense. But unlike most breakers in the game, his basic attacks also inflicts break, which is really good. I don't think other breakers have that. Like Min don't have that. I mean Im don't have that. Who else is the other breaker? Jinshul doesn't have that. Kim Chul doesn't have that. Yeah, most breakers don't have that except for him, so which is really good. Score attack
나 백고길도
doesn't
맛있게
break,
헌터
surprisingly.
백윤호입니다.
So it's weird. So let's go over his passive, which is White Flames. So every hit that he does, excluding for basic attack, will inflict white flames. And if you hit them 3 times with it, it explodes and then it deals a decrease defense. To be honest, in most content, this doesn't matter. Because you break in most of the time 2 hits anyway. So you won't, and then, especially for Battlefield of Time, you don't really want to wait for that cast for defense down. But his basic skills, they all break. That's all he does. Break, break, and more break. But they take a while to cast. That's the only part about him that's not good. He's vulnerable when casting it unless you switch out right away, which is okay. But yeah, his QTE breaks.
이봐,
His ult doesn't break, but it
이쯤에서
inflicts
끝내는
defense
게
down.
좋겠어.
And I think it does all 3 stacks all at once, which
백업은
is
내가
actually neat. Stop that for now. So
나 백고길도
his dupes.
맛있다는 헌터
A1
백윤호입니다.
increased damage of his skill 2, I believe. So you don't need that. His second dupe increases his break by 20%. You don't need that. He does enough. His A3 turns him into a DPS. So if you want to make him a DPS, A3 is good, I guess. But you don't also need that. A4 increases his crit rate by 8%, which you don't need. His A5 is really good at least, which just gives him ult, so you don't need a destroyer set, as well as increasing the explosion of his passive. So in general, he's one of the characters that you actually find A0, which is very good for free-to-play player. You get 1 copy of him and you're good to go. So yeah, and with that, let's take him to a couple of contents. One content we could do is the Battlefield of Time challenge against Igris who is a light unit, which is nice. So for this one, let's go with the pure light team. Let's go with something like this. So for this, we're just gonna break, switch out, and then try to kill it with our DPS. So yeah, this might not be the best optimized way to run this stage, but that's okay. We're showcasing Baek Yoonho anyway. That's all we care about. We care about his break. Skip this because we don't really care about time, so we're not gonna go for perfect. How much break that does? That should. Yep, there you go. That did it. Oh, I didn't QTE, so I didn't get to ult. That sucks. But this run is gonna be longer than what it normally is because I did not get the QTE, which charges Min's ultimate gauge, but that's okay. Delete. Alright. You know, instead of killing this one, let's inflict the defense down. There's the defense. That's gonna be the defense down, and then you could just switch out, so you have a little bit of iframes. Oh, he's so far away. That was an awful run, just because I didn't do the QTE. Let's run that again, actually. Yeah. That's one of the worst runs I've done for this stage. But it's fine. We don't need to run that. Let's just do his ult here. Let's just showcase how much break damage he does. He broke it in 2 hits, which is nice. The run was ugly, for sure. If you get 129 in that time, that's not good, but that's okay. We just saw how much break he did. Very nice. So, one of the best stages he's good at is the Encore dungeon. So here, Encore dungeon against the giant arachnid. He's actually really solid at the moment. Just because it's the same thing as before. His break is so good. He's one of the best. He is the best breaker at this stage, better than Saju. So let's see how much. I think I could break him in maybe 2 rotation. Oh, actually no, I break him in 1. 1 in a key 2? No, not quite. That's okay. Okay, now he's broken. Let's just summon for instant damage. So yeah, 4 skills broke this boss, which is nice, and then we kill him like that. Really good. Really solid breaker, especially for this fight. When enemies are weak to light, he does insane amount of break. And another stage I want to try him on is the current Battlefield of Time against the Giant Arachnid. Sure, we've just showcased him against the Encore boss, Giant Arachnid, but this is kind of different. Because it actually matters, you know, how fast you break. So we broke the Encore one in 4 hits, and let's see how fast we'll break him. This one. So, Battlefield of Time always starts with, you know, a casual wave clearing stage, little boss. And for this one, you have to kill the spot. Did I miss this one? Yeah, I missed the big one. That's annoying. But we're not here for a clear time. We're here for how good Baek Yoonho is this stage. You can figure out how to properly and optimize this run once the real one starts. But it's only a practice round, so it don't matter. Here to see Baek Yoonho and not fast clears. And go, jump. I'm not sure if I have time to dodge. We're just gonna activate this. We could have beat him up there if he dodged, but that's okay. Just gonna go with the good old classic way. Basic attack, and that should be clear if this crits. And that's it. 1 minute. Could have been better, but he did his job. So, if the spider didn't run away, we would have broke him in 2 attacks, including the QTE. But since he ran away, what was actually nice with Baek Yoonho that no other hunter can do. If I was running a different hunter, I would have to wait for his skills or her skills to come back up so I can break. But with Baek Yoonho, I don't need to do that just because his basic attack has that weak break in it. That weak break was what was needed to break that boss. And yeah, really good breaker. The best breaker in the game. Can be solid in Battlefield of Time. Very good against Battlefield of Time challenge, especially against Egress. He's also very good in reverse mode. Let's actually do reverse mode Egress. I believe reverse mode Egress is weak to light, yeah. So let's try the normal setup again. So as a support, you can also use him as a support. You don't have to use the concentration of firepower. The Aquamarine set with the buff actually is just as good, especially for that. Might have been for Battlefield of Time. It might actually be better. So this is the reverse Egress fight. Does it show how much requirement? I misclicked that. So this is the reverse mode, which is the hardest version of Egress that we have. And I just tanked that. So we've hit him once. This is the second hit. Broke him into it. Let's just do that so we can get that. So yeah, he is breaking most light weak enemy in 2 to 3 hits. Just really not that. It's not bad. It's the best that we have. Most like Soju takes a long time to clear. And yeah, that was reverse mode. That's the hardest Egress fight. And broke it in 2 hits. So good as a breaker. One thing I didn't talk about him is his how good is he in Power of Destruction. I think he can be really good in Power of Destruction, especially the light day. Is just because he breaks, and you want to break the enemy. Is it like it's wind day today, so I'm not gonna bring him. Because you just want to break the enemy. The best breaker in the game, and the best part about him is that A0 is plenty. It's good enough to compete with every other character in the game. You don't need no dupes. But if you do get dupes, next patch we can probably try to run him as a DPS instead of a breaker. I'd love to see that. Yeah, and with that, thanks for watching. See you on the next video.